Hi, and welcome to our new video. This is the Tefal EY701D Easy Fry XXL air fryer. We tested it for you, and you'll find out everything you need to know in this video. So stay tuned. Let's dive into the Tefal EY701D Easy Fry XXL. Before getting to the practical test, let me give you a quick overview of the product regarding its features and technology. The Tefal comes with a power of 1850 watts and has a capacity of 5.6 liters, which should be enough for 8 servings. 8 predefined programs, or what they call presets, can be selected via the integrated touchscreen. Of course, you can also adjust the settings yourself. The temperature ranges from 80 to 200 degrees Celsius. When the set time is up, an audible signal sounds. The dimensions of the Tefal are 34 by 30 centimeters, which is decent. Competitors with similar capacities have comparable dimensions. Only the depth at 42 centimeters is quite pronounced. Keeping this device in the kitchen permanently might not be feasible for everyone. In our opinion, a couple of transport handles would have been desirable to make the fryer easier to store away. Otherwise, it sits securely on non-slip feet and has a relatively long cable at about 120 centimeters. Unfortunately, you won't find any special features or accessories with this device. You could say it's pretty basic. By the way, if you want to know where to buy this air fryer as cheaply as possible, then check the description below the video. There, you'll find a link to the price comparison and another to the product on Amazon. That's all the information about the Tefal EY701D Easy Fry XXL. Let's get to the main part, which is our practical test. The first thing we want to check out is how to handle the device properly. So, let's walk through it together. First, place the fryer on a heat-resistant surface and leave some space around it for the heat to dissipate. Then you go and clean the device once before the first use. You should at least rinse or wipe the inserts. When everything is dry, plug it in and you can start using it. Press the on button and you have the following choice. Either select one of the 8 predefined programs using the little chef's hat icon, or set the temperature and time manually with the up and down buttons. Press the start button and the air fryer gets going. That's about it for the operation. But before we start cooking, I want to quickly mention the presets. These are generally good, helpful settings if you're not very familiar with the device or trying new products. But don't rely too much on them. Open it up from time to time, check how things are looking, see how things are developing in there, and then decide whether to turn the food or even set different values to achieve the perfect result. Just keep in mind that the presets are basically just rough guidelines. Accordingly, we didn't rely too much on the predefined programs in our test and preferred to adjust them manually if in doubt. And voila! This way, the cooking results are generally really good. This applies to almost all air fryers in our test. Fries get crispy on the outside and tender inside. You need to be careful that they don't become too dry. But generally, you get a good, tasty result. The same goes for chicken nuggets. We also tried it with wings. Here, we got a visually very nice result. Everything was cooked through and tasted good. Vegetables are a different matter with these fryers. The hot air dries them out super quickly, and they burn easily. Our tip, if you usually cook it in a pot, keep it in the pot. If you want to make something like grilled vegetables, on the other hand, you can do that. But you definitely need to use a bit of oil. You should also carefully monitor the cooking state and possibly adjust the temperatures to get proper results. Baking, on the other hand, works pretty well. We tried it with muffins, and what can I say? They rose well, were firm enough on the outside and fluffy and cooked through inside. Good cooking results. Well, what more do we actually want? Basically, we wanted less, namely less fat. That's what the manufacturers of these air fryers advertise. And that's true. By simply not bathing the food in fat anymore, but cooking it in hot air, we simply have less fat on the product. In the end, one could say we taste more of the food again because it's not covered in fat anymore. All good and well, but what about the handling? Is using such an air fryer even practical? It basically depends a lot on the specific device. The Tefal comes with a drawer consisting of a tray and an insert. Such a drawer usually has the advantage that it's easier to turn the food than in a conventional oven. Since the Tefal's drawer is relatively light for its size, you don't have to exert much effort when turning the food. The problem is that the insert comes up when shaking the food, so you shouldn't use too much force when shaking. You should also take the cooked food out of the tub with the right utensils. Otherwise, when tipping the tub, the insert might crash onto the plate. A positive thing to mention is that the appliance automatically stops when you remove the drawer. This makes handling a bit more convenient. If you're worried about your ears falling off, you can relax with the Tefal. In our test, the air fryer was about as loud as most other devices at around 60 decibels. The heat development is more of a problem. While the handle stays cool, the casing gets quite hot. The drawer absorbs even more heat, so it's best to be a bit cautious. The air from the vent on the back also gets hot and rises upwards. Just as a reminder, you can find the link to the Tefal EY701D Easy Fry XXL below the video in the description. And if the video was helpful to you, please give us a like and subscribe to our channel. As for the appearance, we have the feeling that the manufacturer definitely tried to make something out of the Tefal. The brushed metal look on the top edge of the device is quite appealing to us. When it comes to the workmanship, the air fryer from Tefal performs very well. The gap dimensions are excellent. Everything fits together perfectly. The smooth plastic in the lower part of the device, as well as the brushed metal sections, also make a good impression. However, the good workmanship is not surprising to us. The other Tefal fryer we tested last year was also clearly one of the better manufactured devices. When it comes to cleaning the air fryer, you should first let the appliance cool down enough to handle it safely. After that, the insert and the tray should be washed by hand. Unfortunately, the parts cannot go into the dishwasher. The housing is treated with a damp cloth. Let's get to the conclusion. With the Tefal EY701D Easy Fry XXL, you get an air fryer in the medium to upper price range that delivers a solid performance on the whole. The standout feature here is the good build quality with the appealing look. The only downside is that the insert complicates working with the device a bit. Also, the equipment is kept very basic without features and additional accessories. Overall, with the Tefal, you still get a functional air fryer that is easy to use and delivers good cooking results. So, I tested this air fryer for you. If you are particularly interested in the product, then check out the video description below. You can find all the links there. Otherwise, I would be happy if you stay tuned. Our Endcard will provide a few interesting video suggestions for you.